Hey, what's up? How's everyone doing? You're probably not seeing us yet. There's always that stupid 5-second delay. Hey, what's up? Welcome. Hello, everyone. Hello, internet world, punks of the world. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 55. Man, I'm just thinking it's been over a year now since we did the first episode. Jim and Tony, you were on the first episode, right?
First episode.
That
Oh,
was
wow.
that was like over a year ago now.
So, I wish I had
that's
what my picks were.
I can't remember.
First time I not at all. I can't remember.
It was funny because it was really short as well. Like, I don't think we knew like how much or how long we should talk about these records, so it was over real quick.
Yeah.
But, not anymore. It's like,
Story of my life.
Not anymore. All right. Jim's back. Tony's back. And Matto's back.
hello.
Hello. I was just with Matto a couple of months ago in Osaka. We had a great time.
We did have a great time.
We did. We had a great time. And we're going to have a great time again tonight on this show. So let's like and subscribe. Everybody like and subscribe. I always say don't, but do. like and subscribe. It can't hurt, right? It can't hurt. It can't hurt.
It won't hurt.
It won't hurt. Just a one click. One click.
That's how it starts.
See.
Just one click.
Yes. There we go.
Clicking all day.
Scooter's here. Vincent's here. Evening, lads. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey,
all right. As usual. Hey, Scoots. We've got 5 records or more, maybe. We'll see. I might shoehorn in an extra. Well, I don't know. It's going to be a great show. It's always a great show. It's holiday. Hey, what? You know what? I finished up work last night for the holiday season. I'm feeling pretty good. Went out last night with my co-workers. Had a few pints. Cheers.
Maybe everybody should get a bonus Christmas pick at the very, very end. Quick.
Oh, maybe I could probably just grab something with it.
Wow.
Within reach.
Motorcycle helmet.
Bonus Christmas pick at the end?
Bonus Christmas pick. Yes. A pair of socks. There you go.
Itchy wool sweater.
Oh, Descendants though, right? Descendants Christmas sweater.
right. Those are mostly just their sweatshirts, just like made.
Yeah, they're just printed like a sweater design.
Not the same.
No, I mean it's clever, but in the picture at first it looks like it's a real thing, and then it's not.
Rip off.
We're like, how's a knit sweater only $25?
Exactly. There you go. Oscar says, and I probably agree, rock and roll is the only religion that never lets you down and makes you feel all right. Hell yes. All right, shall we get going? I think it's going to be a hell of a ride today. As usual, we've got 5 each. We'll go around. I'll go first. Me, Jim, Tony, Matto. And I'm excited to see what everyone's picked out today. Feel It Records.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's new to me. So I've been digging a little bit with Feel It Records. They have a large discography, right? There's a lot out there of Feel It Records. I got something new on Feel It Records, and I love how this record looks, and I've been having a good time with this record. It's a band out of Cincinnati, Ohio, with a Welsh vocalist. So, yeah. And a good band name. I think, Jim, you'll like the name of this band, especially. Motorbike.
Yeah. All right.
Look at that. That just says, buy me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd buy it.
That motorcycle is driving straight to my heart.
You're right.
That is the kind of layout and artwork that I'm very fond of.
It's amazing. Cool, right?
Yeah. I agree with you.
I really love that. Yeah.
Right.
I also this chain frame. In recent months I've seen so many records with the chain frame.
Oh.
You know, yeah. Like I've got at least several records, newer records, and they all have different versions of the chain going around.
The chain
Chains
frame.
are punk.
That's a good thing because, okay, this is a punk record, but it's maybe not the kind of punk that we usually might listen to. It's kind of, I tell you what, when I put this on, it reminds me of like tuning into the John Peel show, in 1988, and this song comes out and it's kind of punky, but it's also kind of like a little bit indie from that era. I'm talking about like 80s, like UK indie. Man, every song on this record is just like a hit. It's like fucking catchy, great melodies. It's definitely punk, but it's got that kind of, when you say indie, people might get the wrong idea what I'm talking about, but I'm talking like 80s, like UK, like indie, which kind of borders on punk, like maybe like the heavier side of The Wedding Present or, that kind of thing. I've seen people say it sounds like the Wipers. I don't think it sounds like the Wipers at all. Great record. Young band, first LP. I don't know. I think Feel It Records have a kind of a sound, it's like, it's punk, but it's also a little bit like, I'm going to say it again, like indie, in that
Right,
old
sort
school.
of punk adjacent.
Yeah. But it's definitely punk, and it's got like the vocals are a little bit in the background in the distance. He's Welsh vocalist, as I said. Anyone heard this? No,
I haven't heard it, but I've been meaning to check it out because Feel It stuff is always on my radar these days. Like, it's like, even if it's not exactly my bag, it's usually really good for that specific thing. It's always
right.
like it's never anything like subpar or middling or anything. It's always like, up there.
Yeah, I feel so too. Like I got a couple of other records on this label. But they did the Sweeping Promises album too, right? Split with Sub Pop.
Sub Pop, yeah.
So I think that's a good indicator of like their sound is that Sweeping Promises record too. It's like punk, but it's also indie, and there's a lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I order all that Feel It stuff for the shop, but that one I have not gotten in yet. So
all right,
I'll definitely check it out. I haven't heard it yet either, but your description's great. So
I reckon you'll like it.
I like Feel It, so yeah, definitely a cool label.
I've seen them
from Baltimore. They put out a guy that works for me at the store, Matt. His band Cold Feet, I think, is on.
Okay.
They did an LP on Feel It. So
I've seen them compared to early Parquet or Parquet Court. I've never heard that band, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I sell a lot of Parquet Courts, but have never dipped my toe into actually listening to them.
Me neither.
Yeah, honestly, kind of scared. I mean, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised at some point, but I order them and they sell, and I've yet to listen to them. So
yeah, there you go. Motorbike.
If Parquet Courts had a flaming motorcycle in the front that looked like it was drawn in
like an assignment notebook.
Yeah, in an 8th grade history class.
Yeah.
I would definitely be listening to it a lot faster. So
and a chain frame.
A
chain frame.
Yeah.
All right, that's my first pick. Check it out. It's on YouTube and everywhere.
Ubiquitous chain frame.
Check it out. A chain frame.
Yeah. Chain frame's pretty good. I think maybe I'll. I got a new band coming. I might call that band Chain Frame.
Chain frame.
I feel like that's not bad.
It's pretty good.
Might steal that.
All right, Jim. What's your first pick? Oh, there it is. There it is.
This is awesome, man, and it's breaking out everywhere. And I saw him several years ago out west, West Coast Latino punk. This is my one of the best of 2023 right here, and it's on Toxic State out of New York, and it's got going back to band artwork or record artwork. It's silk screened.
I love it.
I know the internet doesn't do it justice. It's not printed. Like right now, I could feel this. All the Toxic State records always have a good art direction.
Yeah.
And but I mean, this is full on West Coast Latino hardcore punk. No metal, no DB,
no funk.
This is the real fucking deal right here. I
Man,
can't.
Yeah, I saw the video. There was a video for one of the songs on that.
I haven't seen the
I don't
video.
know. I think maybe it's not on the record. I don't know, but I saw some like video that they made, and it was like, holy shit, this is really good.
Yeah, female vocalist, and I have the record. It was like 5 years ago, but I'm sure that, there was a pandemic lag, on what they were doing. But I caught them in LA in 2021. They smoked. They definitely smoked, and I'm so glad I got this. But it's gonna make its way around. I see pictures of it everywhere now, so and stuff I'm looking at. But I was like, oh, but yes, yeah, I've spoken about in the past, Mike, with you, like how I have an affinity towards like post Latino punk, and it's like, and this boom did not let me down. This is good, excellent,
Yeah,
highly
I've been
recommended.
listening to it on YouTube.
So,
a lot.
there's my short sharp sock.
Yeah, I went into Punk in the store yesterday. He's like, they're on the way. They're not here yet. But apparently, like La Vida, Mus is going to do like a UK pressing as well, but it won't have the silk screen.
Yeah.
So pick your poison. Which one do you want to get?
I mean, as long as you
Toxic
can
State,
hear it and play it, But I'm just saying, over
Exactly.
here, it's like, it's like a beautiful textured cover. I mean, it's just like,
that's the one I want. You see, that's the one I want. Yeah.
well,
Yeah, Toxic
State
is an incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a few more out right now. The was that Salvage Punk? Yeah, and it was really good, and they seem to be. I don't want to say they had a lull or anything, but they like 10 years ago they had an avalanche of stuff, and there was experimental stuff and stuff like that. But there's like a whole new wave of stuff coming out of there. All of it's pretty good. Worth checking out.
Yep, there's a brand new Stigmatism LP on there as well. This is really good.
Yep.
But that record that you just picked, that's on my list, my top 2023. It literally just came into the store today.
Oh yeah,
and it's like making the rounds.
Yeah, I was like blasting it. People, I don't know if they were expecting Christmas music, but that's what they got most of the day. So I played it all day. I definitely could have pulled it, as one of my picks. But I always, I wind up never really picking new stuff too much. But yeah, that record rips. It's so incredible. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to get my hands on a proper copy of it. Yeah,
you'll be so happy. You'll be texting me, Jim, it's great.
Yeah, and it should be noted, like that guy John that does Toxic State. I mean, every single piece of every record is silk screened. It's all like that. Like whether it's a 7-inch, it's like those. Way back when he was doing those Crazy Spirit records, it was like they would come with 2 full like multiple silk screen posters plus the front and back cover silk screened. That shit's insane. That he still does it. It's just incredible.
So much work. Much work.
It's a lot of love in that record, or any of those records when you go that far. Yeah. Not just let the plant slap it together for you.
Yeah, he has a crazy average for putting out really good stuff. Like, it's just he's just knocking them out of the park left and right on almost everything he puts out. So
cool. Yeah, man. I've been playing that like on my phone on the way to work and on the way back from work. So good. All right, Tony, what's your first slab of the day?
I'm gonna push this one up since you were just talking about the line between indie rock and punk. This, and I almost never pick anything new, but this is let's pull it out here. This is like a 4 LP set of Superchunk, and this is Misfits and Mistakes. So this is all the B-sides and unreleased stuff from their like more modern era, I guess, from like when they basically got back together. Whatever, I can't remember what year that is. It might say on here, 2007 to 2023. So it's basically all the singles and B-sides and just a ton of stuff. And I think it's a band that also the line is blurred between people think of them as an indie rock band, but the reality is they're basically a punk band. I mean, for, I would say 80%, maybe like 75% of their life and career is music that easily is punk to me. I'll just hold this up a little bit better so everybody can see it. It's pretty
there you go.
Crazy looking. Some gold foil on the back, and then the thing here.
Is that a 4 LP set?
No, 2.
I believe it's for 2 double LPs.
2 double LPs.
Yeah, it's 2 double LPs each. It's like 50 some songs, and so there's some versions of their tracks from that era, like Learn to Surf and stuff like that. Really great tracks, but there's tons and tons of covers on here, and it also continues to blur the line, right? Like on this collection, there's like multiple Misfits covers, Circle Jerks, they cover Neon Christ, they cover COC, Neon Christ, Misfits, Circle Jerks. Incredible throwback to one of my picks from a while ago. They fucking cover the Action Swingers.
What?
Which is outrageous. There's a bunch of stuff. And I was thinking about it. I was like, a lot of times when bands do covers of like classic punk songs or things like that, you're just like, well, I could just listen to the original. There's no reason to. But something about Mac's voice and like Superchunk doing those covers really lends it a credence, or like it's not like you just listen to it once and go, that was okay, but I can just listen to the original. Like Superchunk is so good at what they do, and Mac, he doesn't try to change his voice to sound like the band they're covering.
No.
And he has such a weirdly unique voice that like it really throws like some extra something onto these covers that if just like a normal hardcore band was covering Neon Christ, you might go, yeah, okay, that's cool. But Superchunk covering them is crazy, and they play it at basically the exact same speed and intensity.
Wow.
So it's not like they slow it down or turn it into an indie rock song. They pretty much tear it up. And same with the Misfits songs, definitely with the Action Swingers song. And there's other ones on here. I think they cover the Bangles, the Go-Go's. There's some like, the Minutemen and the Ramones. I mean, it's pretty crazy the amount of
it's pretty intense
thing. So yeah, I just love it. It's a huge, just an incredible package, and just seeing a band come back. I don't know if they were ever fully broken up, but I think they were on hiatus for a number of years.
Long time.
Yeah, long time. And to see them come back and just like immediately floor it, like just all those records are, it was like 4 records in a row or something, like full lengths, plus all these singles of just absolutely killer. Again, blurring the line between indie and punk, but leaning pretty hard into punk, at least in this era of the band. And just incredible. The sad thing is that I have like almost every single. I think I have all the singles, but like the packaging was so nice. I was just like, I have to like also have this collection. It isn't good enough just to have all the singles. But yeah, I think the only thing not included is they did a song for the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, which is called Misfits and Mistakes, and it's on this. But on the flip side of the original 7-inch, there's a version of the song. Yeah, Superchunk plays and Meatwad does the vocals, and that's the only thing that's not included on here. So maybe there was a legal, some kind of copyright where they couldn't. Just they couldn't put that one back, but or that one couldn't be collected, but yeah. So pretty funny, but yeah, that's my choice. The
nice.
Superchunk. First one anyway.
That's great. I feel like some of the guitar work on that Motorbike record is kind of it's very similar to Superchunk.
This was going to be further in the pile, but because about that little crossover, I was like, pull that one out. So
yeah, I am a huge Superchunk fan, and like when I first heard Superchunk, I was like, I didn't realize that you could do punk and be so I don't want to say melodic, but like just catchy and still driving, but not also like but not overpoweringly loud, or like, so I don't know, just not like overdoing it. Like I fell in love with that band like immediately, and I have been a huge fan ever since. I was in a band for years that just was worshipped that band, and people asked us what we sounded like. I just say shitty Superchunk. That's what we sound like.
That's great.
But,
that's a great.
I was also going to pick that.
Oh shit! Yeah. All right.
Now I got.
Was that one of your picks, Matto?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that one of your picks?
Yeah.
What's real?
One of my picks. Thanks, Tony.
I thought I was playing it.
That's amazing.
It is everything that you said. One thing I will say is, look, I've noticed over the years, as the band's been around longer and longer, they have. I've always felt like they've let more of their punk influences show.
Absolutely.
Versus in the early days, it wasn't so obvious. Like, you could hear it in the sound, but they weren't maybe as overtly like public about their interest in, like, as much as they liked punk. And they definitely got lumped in with a lot of indie rock and, you know, bands of the time that also had punk roots, but maybe it's just the 90s and the way everybody was trying to pitch everything is something different. But yeah, that band, like, the older they get, the more like they're like, yeah, we just love punk.
Yeah. It's incredible, and it really shows in all these newer records. And again, I mean, them just like nodding their head. I mean, you know, you can do Misfits covers all day long, but you're gonna take the time to like fucking cover Neon Christ. That's, you know, that's beyond. That's a little above and beyond the Call of Duty. So that's,
which,
you know, feels good. Oh, it's a Bad Reputation, I think. Is it? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Actually, can I? Is that it? Oh, Bad Influence. Sorry. I was thinking about Joan Jett for a second. Bad Influence is the track. Bad Reputation. I'm just... Joan Jett. Bad Influence.
Oh, I know.
It took me a long time to get into that band, but when it clicked, I was like, man, I just couldn't stop playing them. It's very like brittle sounding and fragile sounding. It's weird, but it's also kind of powerful too. Very, like, I'm not going to say emo. It's very emotional sometimes. Like
I kind of describe, and again, maybe this is Mac vocals coming through, but it's just like so earnest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just like you can tell everything is coming straight from the heart. Maybe that's just the way his voice sounds or something. But sorry, I swiped your.
It's okay. It's a great record.
I thought I was going to be safe, but sorry.
Yeah, that's great.
All great records. I mean, it's an impressive box set. I mean,
oh, it's beautiful.
It looks alone, it's like, holy shit, wow. Definitely feel like I got my money's worth. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but I definitely feel like I got my money's worth with that. And I probably only have like half of these singles, and I thought I had a good run lately. I was like trying to stay on top of getting all those singles, but when I got that thing, I was like, oh man, it was like all these records I missed.
Check that out. Daniel Mac came to one of the Sorry State 10th anniversary shows. There you go.
Yeah, I saw that.
He came by the store, but I wasn't working. But Worcester came by the store, and I was there, and I just punished him relentlessly about the best show, mostly about the best show and Rock Rotten Rule. But he was such a good sport. He was really, really fucking funny in person, as much as he is, you know, in you know, on best show and stuff like that. So yeah,
nice. All right, so I guess it's my turn, right? It's like back to me.
Oh yeah,
it's Matto.
Oh, Matto, you got.
Well, I can do something else.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I thought you were gonna do the two for Superchunk thing there.
My first pick is the Robert Goulet. This is Christmas I spend with you. Okay, just kidding.
Nice safety.
This is,
so good.
See if I can pronounce it correctly. Saret Millet, a Finnish band from the 90s. It's Finnish straight edge, but it's not at all like your typical straight edge band. It's very melodic. It's very kind of, I don't want to say bass heavy, but the bass is like a kind of a lead instrument, and there's a lot of cool bass playing. The songs are very dynamic. I don't want to say like a lot of maybe it's a little octavy chord and just like a lot of discordant stuff. It's not what you'd expect at all from a Finnish band or straight edge band. And this came out in 1990. This stuff's from like 90 to 92. I remember this record, this collection, which is called Extended Plays, came out in 2002, and it was kind of very popular among my friend group at the time. And it's got this cool gatefold, and the first like 9 songs on this are awesome, and then there's like this couple of like demo tracks or something, and they just sound crappy compared to the rest of them. But it's funny, the later stuff I think is their best stuff. And the second side, the record, this is like a collection of a whole bunch of different stuff. The second side is the release was called Punk on Pascha, which is basically translate to punk is shit. But yeah, I mean, I guess like I'm very drawn to the not maybe necessarily standard Finnish stuff. I'm just inherently drawn to that, and this blew my mind. I loved it when I got this, and I got my hands on this in 2002. You
put some good Finnish stuff out on your own label that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, again, probably not your typical Finnish stuff.
Right.
You know, band like Sokia Piste or the Hero Dishonest, like,
yeah.
I think that those bands are great. I think that they're just unbelievable live. I mean, Hero Dishonest has been around for a long time. And maybe that's part of maybe that's a disadvantage to them at some point, because when you're around for so long, people just tend to be like, that band's been around forever. But they're definitely worth people's time. But this was a great record. I think it's really cool. Yeah, 2002 this came out. I think there's a CD version on another label that has more stuff than this. But yeah, this is pretty solid. I would recommend it.
Yeah. I just had straight anxiety attack because I have that record, but it's gone. I just like,
oh no,
I don't know where it went. I don't think I would have sold it, but it's not there. But
sold it for cherry Coke money.
We could have doubled the Superchunk Seriet Millet. However,
that would have been awesome.
we could have had the double photo, but I don't know where my copy of that is. I don't own any of those originals, and I had that LP. It's probably in there, just misfiled. But
probably in the Finnish straight edge section.
Yeah.
But
right. One record in it.
There's only like 3 records there.
Heart to heart with the Superchunk and the Finnish straight edge. So
yeah.
Yeah, I remember just at the time thinking it was just funny that there was like a straight edge band from Finland, and it was pretty.
I'm like, wow, really? Because man, I've done some bad drinking over there.
Right.
Worse than the state.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to do a Tony and switch my order around to fit in with Matto's pick. I'm going to Finland too. This is going to be my last. This is going to be my last pick in the pile, but I'm going to switch it up to the second pick. Finnish band. They only had 2 demos out. 2014, 2015. Luckily, Kick Rock decided to put them out on 1 LP. Man, this is amazing. It's this band called Vastusta. And it's funny because it's like it really is like the perfect blend of like old school Finnish hardcore and a little bit of the stuff that me and Matto like, that stuff that's like a little bit different. But it's raging. This is 2 demos. Why they were just demo tapes, I don't know. They're good, and they could have been put out as like 12-inch singles, and they would have been great as they were, but they were just like cassette tapes. This is what we're looking at. Punk as fuck, Finnish hardcore, 2014, 2015. And I actually messaged Beffa from Kick Rock. He put this out, right? And I was like, can you tell me anything about this band? And he's like, yeah, I got some like a little tidbit for you. And I was like, man, I couldn't believe it when he said it, because this might tie in with someone else's picks, or I don't know. This year has been all about T. Kerry, right? The T. Kerry record, the LP. Everybody loves the T. Kerry LP, right? Right?
Absolutely. Favorite record that came out this year.
It so happens that the guy JP, or Jari-Pekka Kinnunen from that band, is also in this band.
Mystery solved.
Yeah, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, what, really? Yeah. He's like, yeah. Because this is like full on, like, blazing Finnish hardcore that was just on a couple of demo tapes, like 10 years ago. Great stuff. And he was in 1981 too, that guy. And he was in Kieltolaki.
Oh man, Mike,
So
you know how much I love those 1981 records. Man,
so
those records are incredible.
Just bear in mind that guy is also in this band, and great songs, catchy, blazing, like Finnish hardcore.
Oh, definitely want to check that out.
And I got a bit of like an information announcement. There's a record coming out soon. It's a compilation EP, and it's got this band on it. It's got Koti Toho on it. It's got Schizophrenia from Japan on it. It's got Mujeres Podridas from the States on it. And it's got Poblacion from Japan on it. And it's got Ruidosa Inmunicidia from Austria on it. It's like a compilation single. That's going to be one of the records of next year, maybe. So
that sounds pretty good.
It's coming out all unreleased songs from all those bands.
That's quite a lineup.
Right? It's a good line. It's called What Passing Bells for These Who Die as Cattle. And I think the guy from Tikeri and Vastusta, he's putting out on his label. So
okay.
Look out for that one. It's coming out soon, I think. But yeah, there you go. Finnish hardcore. That should, I don't know. Just hidden away on like a couple of demo tapes, So it needed to be put out on the record. So thanks to Beffa for putting that record out. It's a good one. All right, Jim, what's your second pick?
My second pick, you mentioned A Time and Place, UK, late 80s. Maybe about 86, 87, 88. John Peel. That up before. John Peel. This band from the UK. It was at a time when, UK hardcore and British hardcore were crossed. Some bands were influenced by others, and vice versa. This band hasn't been around in a while, and they just put out this new record, and I bought it, and I said, "Oh, I gotta check it out."
Wow!
And it surprised me. The Stupids.
Oh, the Stupids. New album.
The Stupids. New album. Go figure. But Tommy Stupid. I always kind of viewed Tommy Stupid as the UK hardcore Captain Sensible. Kind of cheeky. But I love those records though from the 80s. Violent Nun, Peruvian Vacation. Those are great records. So I was like, and I know they kind of got kind of glutty at the end of their heyday. They were like kind of trying to be like when Gangrene took the wrong turn. It was like that. Trying to be rock stars, didn't work out. Or the Beastie Boys. I think they were trying to shoot for the Beastie Boys.
They were, yeah.
But this, I mean, it's not the original lineup, but Tommy Stupid's in there, or they couldn't call it Stupids, I bet. But this is more. It's still pretty breakneck. You can't. It is Tommy Stupid playing the drums for sure. He has a style, and he. But there's more. It's more of a progression towards like a prime Tag Nasty vibe at some points. What was that? I didn't see that.
His cat was like right.
Yeah,
I got two dogs right here. They're sleeping. I can't believe they're sleeping, but they're sleeping. But this was a pleasant surprise. Like I said, they still have some pretty thrashy numbers on here, but there's some that sound like it could have come off "Can I Say" by Dag Nasty. So I was kind of surprised by that. And it's really well recorded, really well done. There's a nice picture of a urinal on the back. But I really like the Stupids in the time. So I check that out. I want to check this out. And it wasn't them trying to be Beastie Boys. So, but I'm pretty happy with it.
Nice. Is that what label put that out? I forget the name of the label. Boss Tunage?
What label? They probably put this out themselves.
Oh, okay.
It's on Violent Test. But it was kind of an odd bird to see the Stupids back out in circulation. So it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. But but pleased with it. Not the best record of 2023, but it's a good record.
Man, they're one of my favorites though from that classic era. What's the one after Peruvian Vacation? Like the one after that?
Jesus Stupids, Van Stupid. Those are the later ones.
The one before that.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forget the name of it because it's my favorite one.
There's a and you forgot the name.
Peruvian Vacation.
I can't recall.
Yeah,
but I just remember how breakneck
the memories.
It was really breakneck.
Jesus.
Well, they
yeah.
They did another full LP about 8 years ago, maybe, or something like that. That put out, and that is also really, really great. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, maybe like 6 to 8 years ago, there was another new Stupids record. So
there you go. Yeah, they're one of my favorites from that era. You know, they were always were amazing live back in like the late 80s, early 90s. So good, so good.
Yeah, I remember Stupid coming over when like Youth It Today was like, that's Tommy Stupid, and you know he was like definitely checking like New York hardcore and all this stuff.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's funny. You'd like go to, you know, back then there was like a lot of crusties and stuff, you know, and like the Stupids walked in and Tommy Stupid with his like long blonde, like curly hair and like all the like, you know, the American clothing, you know, like the street skatewear and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, it's quite something at that time, you know. Nobody was really looking like that in England in that time. Yeah. All right.
But they kick
Tony, what's your second?
So, real fast, Mike, I can see Matto and Jim moving fine, but you've been frozen for me for like 20 minutes, but only you. So I don't know. And Matto, can you see Mike? Is he still like functional? Like his tree?
Yeah, I can see him. He looks good.
Yeah,
my internet's okay, but you're frozen taking a drink, which is actually hilarious.
I'm not.
That is exactly, Matt. That is exactly what Mike has looked like for me for the last 25 minutes. Is taking a drink.
Wow.
But you can hear him fine.
It's what I've looked like. It's what I've looked like for the last 25 years, Tony.
I've seen it in person. Hold on, I'm going to take a picture of it so you can see what I see. Yeah, 25 minutes of that, by the way.
Really?
20 minutes of just I can't
That's
see
weird.
it. But
I mean, I get some of the hesitations, but and sometimes the vocals cuts up and then it catches up.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So just so you know, if you show show me something, this is all it looks like. Is that
everyone else tell Tony what I'm showing?
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, there's no reason. Yeah, let's wait till Matto gets back.
Yeah, let's wait.
Yeah.
We were talking about.
Sorry,
there he goes. There he goes. There it is.
Yeah. So we'll keep this this bromance going with Superchunk. But my next pick was actually
what?
double whammy. Superchunk, Stupids.
That's funny.
Sorry, Tony.
I love them so much. All the other records over here, this is exactly the kind of music I like. The only thing I really have to add to what you were saying, Jim, is that like some of those thrashier songs are like really kind of over the top pummeling, maybe even more for the Stupids. Like when you think about their fast songs, maybe like more skate thrash. But the first track on this record sounds like a fucking, like, it sounds like they were listening to Crossed Out or something. It has a very like almost Power Violence feel.
Wow.
It's like very driving, like more so I think than even some of their other stuff. Like maybe they were just like, hey, what if we just pushed it even harder in that department? So some of these songs are like really short and really just has this like kind of the vocals and the real crazy choppy drumming made me think of like almost Power Violence.
Wow.
But yeah, it just rips. You know, as Jim said, it's not a number one record of the year or anything, but it warms my heart to know the Stupids are still a band, still, you know, tearing it up. Some of the melodic, some thrashy.
Yeah, but the more melodic ones, did you pick up like that, like Discordy feel off of it? Like it to me, like it was sounding like Dag Nasty almost. It was like wow.
And I mean, I'm sure it's clear that those dudes were listening to not only Gangrene but Dag Nasty, you know, when they were writing, not just this, but like I think
the old stuff too, right?
Yeah, their whole vibe is, you know, like all that stuff. So, but yeah, just an incredible record. So we got a double whammy for me.
There you go.
So,
do you have a Robert Goulet?
I don't. Yeah.
Next one, Robert Goulet.
It was almost a triple threat because I thought I had that Syriac Goulet, the Syriac Goulet straight edge record, but
that would have been amazing.
Apparently, I got rid of it at some point, or it's just misfiled somewhere. So. But anyway, yeah, that was it. Stupid. So
brilliant. Wow.
Oh,
this is cool. All right. Matto, what's your next pick?
You don't have a safety pick?
Andy Williams, Christmas album. No, I've been listening to I listen to Christmas albums. I don't care if it's not cool. I love them. I listen to this, but
it's not your pick, right?
But it's not my pick.
Yeah,
this is one of the records that I picked up when I was in Japan. It's a band called Cream Soda.
Oh, yeah.
And this LP is called Fiction. It's on Chaotic Thoughts Records. I just saw the cover, which is there's a little glossy kind of sheen out there, but I thought the cover was cool. I love the band name Cream Soda. I love Cream Soda. I was like, I don't know what this is going to be like. I mean, it looks kind of, at first glance, I thought this is going to be some kind of Japanese hardcore record or something. But when I got it home and finally listened to it, it's very much like Japanese influence, like it's got hints of, you know, Bastard and even like Crude at moments with like the raging guitar solo stuff. It's also on this really sick vinyl. But they're an Australian band, and it's 6 songs. It's pretty ripping, and the drummer, I remember thinking the first time I put it on, it's like, holy shit, this drummer is unbelievable. 3 people from Australia, Sydney. I'm trying to think. It's like there's like some Death Side in there, maybe even some Systematic Death, but it's also like got touches of like kind of D-Beat and Crust a little bit too. But I remember specifically thinking, wow, yeah, the drummer on this is pretty phenomenal.
Wow.
And then I did just a quick research on the internet. The drummer passed away the same year that they recorded this record. So the drummer's name was, I wrote it down, Alex Dino Wood. And apparently a very, a very active person in the music scene in Australia, quite the back catalog of stuff. They were apparently in a bunch of bands. Most of the stuff I never heard of: Impact Statement, Christ Crusher, Ether Rag, Death Cage,
Death Cage, I know. Death Cage, I know. They were very like
sounded familiar to me. But if anybody's interested in just hearing the drummer and getting a sense of the stuff that this person did, there's a Bandcamp. I'm sorry, I wrote this down. There's a Bandcamp from I think it's a tape label, or it's a label called Inner City Uprising at bandcamp.com or .bandcamp.com, and there's a whole page dedicated of just basically tracks from that this person played on.
Right.
It's called and they say he They say he blasted his way through life is what the title of the release is, and it's just like 20-something tracks of various bands that person was in. But yeah, it's like heavy Japanese influence with the touch of Scandinavian crust. Like, I don't know. It's just I totally bought it on the cover and the name, and it turned out it was really good. So I go with the gut on that. If the cover looks cool, it's probably good.
I've seen it in the racks. I think there's quite a few copies made it over here, but I haven't checked it out. But yeah,
I think it's worth the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
where
did Tony go?
Yeah,
we lost
Mr.
Tony.
Pence. There we go. Here he.
Uh-oh.
Hey, there we go.
I think I just needed a little reboot because now I can see you, Mike, in real time and not just drinking. And I had right, exactly. and I froze up. Basically, everybody just froze up in order. So
there we go.
We're all good now, though. I can see everything.
There we go. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do a little change up again with my order, since we were kind of talking about like Japanese influence stuff. I don't know if Tony's going to show a record by this band or not. Actually, he won't show it by this band.
The way we're going.
It definitely.
Chances are really high.
It definitely won't be this band, but it might be. Let's see. So as we know, both Tony and I are big fans of the Michel Gun Elephant, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Right? Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, huge. Yeah,
huge, right? Especially Tony, probably more than me. I'm a big fan too. But yeah, Chiba Yusuke, guitar vocalist of the Machine Gun Elephant, passed away recently. I'm not going to show a record by them. I'm going to show a record by a band that's on their label, Trippin Elephant Records, right?
Trippin Elephant, yep.
So let me show the record first, and I got a little bit of a story about this record. Check out this bad boy. Anyone know what this is? Ta-da.
No, I don't know that one.
There you go. Jighead, which I found that as a fishing term. I just thought it was a crazy like Japanese English name, but it's a fishing term. But Jighead and Backrush is the name of the record on Trippin Elephant Records, same label as it's like Machine Gun Elephant's record label, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did a split 7-inch with the Machine Gun Elephant right back in the early days.
I don't know if I have a lot of those records, but I don't know if I have that one. I think the only split I have is like a picture disc of some sort that's maybe on an American label. Right. So maybe I don't think I have that one, but
man, Jighead, Backrush, you know that guitar style, right? The Mick Green into like Wilco Johnson, that like slashing like guitar sound that the Michel Gun Elephant had. They have this too. So I'm just going to say this is like it's like the Michel Gun Elephant like Junior. The songs aren't quite as developed as that band, but it's so good. It's like it's like garagey. It's fucking loud. Super distorted guitars and vocals, raging. So much energy in this record, and it's funny because when I first moved to Japan, I got on the internet after about 2 years. And do you remember Soulseek? Maybe Soulseek's still going, I don't know. But there was like this Japanese hardcore room or Japanese music rooms on Soulseek. And someone like kept talking about Jighead. And I downloaded this record, this album. And I used to listen to it like all the time. Like the lowest quality like MP3 on this fucking 50-year-old like Mac, in my bedroom in Osaka, and then I just forgot about it, for like 20 years. And then I was in Discuning the other day, and I was like, bloody hell! I used to listen to this, and I didn't even know that was the record. I thought maybe it's a CD or something, but right. And I was like, Jesus, they made a record of this. So I bought it, and I've been having a good time with this record again, like 20 years later.
I'm going to have to check it out.
You'll love it, man. It's like the Michel Gun Elephant, but like more primitive and louder.
Their visual style there, it almost looks like it's borderline Oi-ish happening, like head influence.
Well, it's funny. I don't know, like, we've all been to Japan, right? if you've ever been to a record store and looked in like the used Japanese punk section, you may have seen records by a band called the Pogo.
Oh, the Pogo, yeah.
Man, the Pogo is everywhere. Like the Pogo is like the most lightweight kind of jingly jangly like major label like Japanese pop punk. You know, even like nicer than like major label like Laughing Nose. The funny thing is, like the main guy in this band was the main guy in the Pogo. And it's such a term because like they've gone from like the sort of like the jingly jangliest poppy happy go lucky like pop punk band to like the nastiest like grittiest like garage rock band. It's quite a thing. But
and I'm putting it on the list. You know, I trust you.
yeah, check it out. The whole album's on YouTube. It's you can listen to it. But yeah, Jighead and Backrush.
Jighead.
Just tons of that like Mick Green, like fucking like guitar thing going on. You know, I don't know what you call that style, but
when they do that specific thing, it just sounds like the world is ending. It sounds so cool when they do it. Yeah.
They were like, you know, not to hijack Jighead, but the Michelle Gun Elephant. If you haven't heard the Michelle Gun Elephant, check out. I don't know, Gear Blues. Good place to start, right?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of went their arc from being like more garage punk to like kind of more, I don't know, developed. But every record, you know, it doesn't matter. It's like insane. It just sounds like it sounds like Japanese punk meets the Rolling Stones with like ultimate, like maybe the greatest fashion choices of all time. Just look
sounds
like
pretty good.
They all look like walking corpses that were dressed like had $1 million for their fashion budget, and then just wanted to sound like a mix of Japanese punk and the Rolling Stones, basically. So,
yeah, that's pretty much what you get with Jighead, you know.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, and I don't know if many people outside of Japan like know about this kind of music, but check it out. It's on YouTube. Yeah, give it a listen.
Jighead.
Cool.
Jighead. It's a fishing.
Yeah, but
someone look it up. It's like a fishing. It's a fishing term, but I forgot what it means exactly. But it's something to do with fishing. So there you go.
Catch of the day.
It's a kind of. It's a kind of fishing rod or a fishing line or fishing hook or maybe. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Jighead. On Trippin Elephant Records. There we go. All right, Jim, what's your next pick? Man, it's flying by today.
Is it by? I don't know. But my next pick, this is a band from Roanoke, Virginia. They're pretty good. I really like it. Every time I listen to it, I find something else I like about it. So that's a good thing. It's a type of hook. Thank you, Robert.
There you go. Thanks, Robert.
And Frederick, Maryland, coming in hard.
Oh.
Ex-parents? Not quite
Ex-parents.
sure what that means. It's from Roanoke, Virginia. Or they're from Roanoke, Virginia. But excellent contemporary hardcore. It kind of has its own vibe. Maybe because it's from Roanoke and that's kind of out there. But I like it. There's moments today I was listening to it again, and there was moments that kind of remind me of Out Cold, one of my favorite U.S. hardcore bands. But
fucking great band.
But this Ex-Parents, it kind of stands on its own. I mean, or it does stand on its own. And like I said, it doesn't fall into any kind of genre or category except maybe just hardcore punk. Just as I was saying before about Tozcos, there's not metal in this. There's not DB in this. Excellent hardcore punk, and they're kind of holding their own. They're in their own corner in Roanoke, as far as I know. I haven't heard anything else much like this in hardcore punk. So, and it's contemporary, and you know, it's I really like it, and I hope to hear more from these guys. But they had a demo, and then it was right to this album. It's also mastered by Isa X. Boy, that's a good guy to master your record. Roanoke, like Los Angeles punk hell, you know. But I took a gamble on this, and I won. So there you go. I was like, what does it sound like? I don't know. I'm gonna find it. Usually, you could do your homework. You could get a little taste or a sneak preview in the culture we have now on the internet, you know. But you know, and they do have some kind of clip for this too. But I really like this, and it stands up, like I said, and bravo.
Nice. Ex-parents.
But like I said, every time I throw that on, I find something else I like about it.
Is that from this year?
Yes.
There we go.
It is from this year. Sorry, I got a lag here.
Man, so many good records out this year. It's been crazy.
It's been crazy on my bank account.
Yeah, right? Man. Ex-parents.
The way you describe that, it sounds like it's not really like a genre exercise kind of thing. Like it's just good.
Right.
Kind of not necessarily comparable to other stuff. Is that what you were just like kind of saying?
Well, I mean, you're always like trying to compare things anyway when you're trying to figure something out. You know, oh, it kind of sounds like this, kind of sounds like that. You know. I mean, that's just kind of a natural way of analyzing it. But I mean, there's some fast crashers on there, and then there's more mid-paced ones that are really good. You know, so.
I guess the point I was trying to make is I'm always up for a band that you can't immediately say sounds like this, sounds like this.
No, there you go. There you go. I would check it out then. If that's the angle, that's where I'm coming. I'm like,
I like that.
When you're analyzing, it could be a bit like this, could be a bit like that. I mean, not that it's a bad thing. You know, you're just trying to identify it, but it doesn't take away from it. But you know, maybe being in Roanoke and away from any kind of large scene lends to that kind of sound. So
that's what happened to me when I was trying to talk about the Peace Talks album. It's like it's great. It's like it doesn't really sound like anything that I could think of. So
no, they're very good. Yes.
Yeah. I actually was like, Matto, what did you write in your press blurb about this record? And you didn't compare it to any other band either, right? And you're like,
it's one of those records where it's like you can't immediately compare it to something. And it's just, any comparison I make here is going to be off mark, but it's decidedly awesome punk, and it's got like you had just described him, like it's got some fast ones, it's got some mid-paced songs, it's like it's got cool guitar parts, it's got a lot of interesting stuff going on, but it's like not immediately just like you can't just apply it to like some specific genre or some niche of something,
right?
Or trend.
Yeah. Just I'm gonna say that check out that Peace Talks record. I did show it a couple of weeks ago, but check it out.
Oh, I have it. I got it from Matto like 2 weeks ago.
There you go. Everybody, check it out. Check out the Peace Talks record on Peterwalkee Records.
Please
check it out. Yeah. All right. Tony, ex-parent?
Ex-parent, yeah. Never a parent.
Oh, yes.
No kids.
Never parent.
My children are behind me. And there's a dog and some cats upstairs. That's what I got going on. So so I mean, it's interesting, like when you come across a band where you can't make those easy descriptions, when you're forced, you know, if you're doing a label, or like when Daniel, who was in the chat there a little bit, when he has to do his descriptions, like more involved descriptions, like, you know, for Sorry State, for like the newsletters and stuff, like you can have like freedom to just kind of like basically say it doesn't sound like X, Y, and Z or like whatever. But when you're stuck in a store situation where it's just like, man, people just want to hear. They just want to hear. It sounds like Japanese punk meets the Rolling Stones. They just.
Wow. Yeah.
Mike knows my heart. He knows that the unfortunate passing of Chiba.
There you go. I knew it. I knew you. I was pretty sure you were going to show a Machine Gun Elephant.
You know, here's the thing. This was already in the. I normally don't dig for my records. I just kind of look through the pile of what has currently been played, and so I could have picked any other of their records, or The Birthday, or Rosso.
Rosso was great too.
Rosso was incredible. Those records are. I mean, as hard as these records are to find, I mean, having any Rosso records is like insane. Even the Birthday records are like outrageously difficult. Yeah. I mean, I was over there seeing The Birthday when those records were released, and I couldn't find them in a store. I mean, it was like, and when I did, they were like already $80 and $100. It was just like outrageous.
Super limited vinyl runs, right? Japanese pressings, probably a couple of hundred, 300, 400, 500 maybe.
I can't beat myself up. I beat myself up a little bit about Machine Gun Elephant because they're my favorite of all the bands, and I really want to have as many of the records as I can. But when it comes to The Birthday, like, I blinked and there was like 8 more records that are like impossible to find. And, you know, it doesn't matter how many times I go over, they're not there. I don't know where they are. You know what I mean? But they're not in my record collection. I have a couple of them and a couple of those Rosso ones, but like even Mid Bank Robbers, like some of those other bands Chiba did. But yeah, this one's in there because on my last trip, it was like one of the last full lengths that I needed. I never had this one, and so it was in my play pile, just because it was, you know, the most recent acquisition and the second hardest one to get behind the major label one, which is escaping me at the moment. That took, I don't know, 8 trips to find a copy of that, and I still paid. I still paid like $150 for it. It was ridiculous. But anyway, this one was tough too. But yeah, so I mean, I kind of already chatted about it when you brought in the other one. It's an incredible band, and like a band that, you know, my old boss at Reptilian Records turned me on to them in the era in the Gear Blues era. They were a little more of like just pure raw garage rock, and they hadn't quite like kind of honed to being even more ridiculous. I don't know. He turned me on to them, and then when I started going over to Japan, I'd start grabbing, you know, the records when I saw them. And yeah, as Robert says, there's a movie. I mean, they just got huge. Like you were there seeing it maybe in a little bit of real time, but they went from being basically like a garage rock band of like Helicopters or, you know, kind of like level to basically being like playing in an airplane hangar in front of like what appears to be like 80,000 people. It's hard to tell. That footage is insane. It's called The Movie, and it actually just got re-released in theaters over there because of Chiba's passing. Right. But you can see some of it on YouTube, and it's insane. I mean, it's like they're playing in front of like football fields, like multiple football fields of people that are just like losing their minds. And so they just got so huge. Even when I saw The Birthday, I mean, it was a sold out show and there was a couple thousand people there. So yeah, just an incredible band. And yeah, this one also has a song on it. One of my favorite songs of theirs. Whoop, I froze up. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, I froze up. Well, anyway, if you can hear me, you can see me too?
Yes, yeah. Very clear. Step away from the camera.
I can't see me. I froze up to myself. So.
Oh, really? We can see it. We can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Great.
Anyway, but yeah, their song "The Birdmen" is like their tribute to Radio Birdman. Wow. And it's like my favorite songs by them. It's incredible. So that's why I picked this one again. It was in the pile closer.
Nice, man.
So. Yep.
I feel like people might not know what we're talking about. We're talking about this band called The Machine Gun Elephant. Japanese band. Yeah.
They never really in that time period of garage rock exploding in the kind of like late 90s into early 2000s, I mean, some labels put out, there's a CD called Collection, and then Gear Blues, which are the more raw rock and roll kind of records. And then when they signed to Universal Japan, pretty much that put an end to any imports. Like, I think it was like British labels that were releasing them, and then you were able to get that stuff in the United States up to a certain point. But at some point, when they signed to a major, that was the end of any of those imports. And all those later records, Chicken Zombies and all the following ones, those just never made it to the United States.
Right.
Barely or anywhere, even in Japan, oddly, since they're so popular. I don't know why that's the case. So
I saw them once. I want to say, no, man, it was it was some time ago, but they played in like a 2000, maybe 2000 kind of capacity hall with Rise from the Dead supporting.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a wild show. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. That's a good song, Vincent. West Cabaret Drive.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Also, Vince in on the chat. He only lives I say it every time. Vince only lives 5 minutes away from me. He can just come over and speak the chat to my front door. It's so close.
Cheers, Vincent. Great band. Michelle Gallifant. Rest in peace, Chiba Yusuke.
Yeah.
What a loss. That's a big loss for like Japanese independent music. Yeah.
I'm gonna switch, Mike. I'm gonna cut out for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. What did he say?
But
I'm gonna be right back.
He's
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to reset myself. Yep.
Okay.
Right. But I don't really know much about Machine Gun Elephant. But is it anything like Teen Generate?
No, it's a little bit. There's little touches, but it's more like
real garagey, you know.
It's very garagey, but it's also like very song based, like kind of I don't know, more like they are like built for stadiums, you know. It's like
really,
but then it's
like,
not like
it was like helicopters, like Tony was mentioning helicopters could play stadiums.
Exactly.
You know, big sound.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just it's like major label like garage punk, garage rock, which I always like. Why not to? Because they're an amazing band, but it's like I don't know how they managed to get like so much like mainstream like crossover appeal because it's pretty like raw music, you know. It's like
even the major label era is still like slashing guitars that are like full volume. I think there's a double whammy thing here with them. One, Chiba, his vocals, like his voice, it's like I don't understand anything that he's saying. I spoke to a friend of mine who speaks Japanese and said a lot of it was like more poetic and like artistic license and rhymings, like, and less maybe hyper specific literal type of lyrics. But he could sing anything. I don't understand anything that he's saying, and it's just like you can feel how intense he feels it.
It's intense.
It's crazy. So I think it's one part that, because even not knowing what he's saying, like you just like you have 2 ears and you're like, oh my god, whatever he's saying, he's feeling it to like the ultimate core of his being, and whether it's a slower song or just raging. And then secondly to that, it's the fashion. You know what I mean? They look like, as I said, they're like wasting away in like $10,000 suits. It's like it's
everybody
crazy.
Like, check out like Gear Blues by the Michelle Gun Elephant and spend a little bit of time with it, and I think you'll probably grow to love it.
And any of those YouTube videos, I mean, they have. I'll say this also: they have a ton of like actual just promotional videos, like just like MTV videos. Those are also just incredible to watch, and you can really see like how. I mean, that's how I feel. Just a combo of fashion and just like
it's intense. They were intense band, intense.
Oh, crazy!
Yeah, interesting.
All right.
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Check him out. Everyone, check him out. Check him out. All right, Matto, what you got?
Let's see.
Is it? Hang on, who's next? Is it? It's you. It's Matto, right?
Yeah,
No,
we've got Liberace. 'Twas the night before Christmas. So this is my actual pick. It is the Steel Pole Bathtub.
Oh wow.
This is the Skull Tapes LP. This just came out recently. Are you guys familiar with Steel Pole Bathtub?
A little bit, yeah.
One of my favorite bands. When I first heard this, not this record, but the first record I ever heard from them, I was like, holy shit, this has got everything I like. It's got, screeching guitars. It's noisy. It's like a lot of note bendy, just screeching and like really chaotic and like that. But it's really bass heavy and I want to say bass driven, but like melodic, catchy, but dark, real angsty and like anxious. And think that Steel Pole Bathtub uses a lot of like movie samples and just like weird. There's a real strong connection between the art, the visual, and just a lot of like. It sounds like some of the songs. It sounds like there's somebody just pouring garbage cans full of like ladles down the stairs during the entire song. But it's so catchy. And then you have some of these songs where the guitars are like just the most ripping like garage rock surf like kind of meets metal guitar parts. But I just always love this band. But this came out like I didn't know about it. My friend Jesse, who knows I love this band, told me about it, and so he was able to grab one for me. This is a very limited pressing of their like kind of the first tape of the classic lineup. This is from 1987, and wow. It's on this nice marbled vinyl, the one that I have, but it's if I were to try to describe it to someone who never heard it before, I'd say like the things that you like about or know about like Unsane or like they did a lot of records on Boner Records, so they get lumped in with like the Melvins and stuff like that. And it's not. I mean, it would make perfect sense that they'd play a show with those bands. Like they eventually got picked up in the rush of 90s bands getting picked up and signed to a major, and it basically they kind of ruined it for them, and they stopped really doing anything. But yeah, if you're into the world of like noisy feedback and samples and just like a lot of intense energy, and you like Unwound or Universal Order of Armageddon or stuff like that all came later, but if you like that, you definitely would like Steel Pole Bathtub. I can't recommend that band enough. And honestly, this is one of the things that we were talking about descriptions earlier and like doing descriptions for your label or records you put out. That's this day stuff that I put out. One of the things that I was drawn to it is it kind of reminded me in a weird way of like Steel Pole Bathtub. Like these sort of weird linear guitar parts and a lot of noise and freaking out and like very anxious. But like, so I love this band. I was really glad to get this. The side one is kind of like one long, insane song. And then it ends with Locked Groove. And I didn't even realize it for like 20 minutes. I was like, Jesus, this is so long. And then it has a Locked Groove on the other side too, of just like looping guitar feedback. So yeah, I would recommend it. If you see it, grab it. They have other albums that are highly recommendable. Tulip is fantastic, and Lurch is really good. But maybe this isn't the best place to start, but definitely a band that I think is worth your time.
Matto, they did a record with Jello Biafra, right?
Yeah, they were in this. They did a band with Jello Biafra called Tumor Circus.
Tumor Circus. I have that. I have that one. I got it.
Yeah, so it's all four. It's all three of the members from Steel Pole Bathtub with Jello Biafra. Yes.
There you go.
My favorite.
I have a Tumor Circus 7-inch.
Yeah.
That has a hole punched in the middle of it. Totally. I mean, they made them. It's a picture disc. They probably spent a ton of money on it, and they just punched a hole right in the fucking middle. You can't hear it. I don't know if anybody's ever heard those songs. I'm not a huge Tumor Circus person, so I don't know if they're on some other record, but it's a totally disposable piece of shit record you can't listen to.
That Tumor Circus record, when it came out, I was flabbergasted, that there's a hole punch through all of them, so you can't play it. But it's also the artwork is Clive Barker did the artwork for that.
Yeah, it's got really cool artwork.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, like, so my boss again that turned me on to Michelle Gun Elephant and stuff. He is a huge noise rock fan, and in addition to bands that he turned me on to in that style, like Unsane and stuff like that. I never really caught on with Steel Pole Bathtub. It was interesting to hear you talk about it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should give him like another full shot, because for whatever reason, it just didn't click with me. Like at the time in the 90s,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
actively a band or whatever. But I was gonna say the hole punch is just straight genius. Whether that was
really funny,
whether that shit was Biafra's idea or you know what I mean, members of Steel Pole Bathtub, I don't know, but it is seriously a home run. And then secondly, even though I don't really, I haven't really given this band a chance, I don't really like them so much, I will say this is one of my favorite 7-inch covers. I had to go pull it out, but there's it's like a Bazooka Joe comic strip for this Steel Pole Bathtub, and he basically tells them that he's dosed Bazooka Joe and fucked his mom, and then he freaks out on this like acid trip or whatever. And I love this record so much, even though I don't like I don't really like Steel Bathtub. I've kept this 7-inch for like 25 years because I love the artwork so much. So maybe
their art is fantastic. Like all their
tribute to
records
you,
have super cool art.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it on today for the first time in 100 years to give it a shot. So I'm gonna give him another round for you. But yeah, this artwork. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I would say if you want to give it a shot, like Tulip is a great place to start with that band. It's a great record. But yeah, I was really excited about this. I mean, it's a little bit more of like, maybe it's not for everybody, but me scoring this was a real nice find, and I've been listening to it a lot. So
cool.
Well, listen, last time I was on, I had Happy Flowers as one of my picks. So, it's just like pure, I mean, like making Steel Pole Bathtub sound like, you know what I mean? The most
melodic band.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to have to give Steel Pole another solid listen.
Me too, actually.
Yeah.
I like that Tumor Circus record, though, that album. I like that a lot. Yeah. All right. I've got two things I want to say about this. First of all, cheers, everyone. And cheers for everyone for tuning in. It's been a year and a bit since we first started this. Cheers. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching. Check out Sokia Pissed as well. I keep saying that. I've said that like many times, but Matto put out their records. Yeah. Great.
Definitely a band worth people's time. It's funny, Mike, when I was out in Japan and I was seeing you. Hold on 1 second.
That was a good time. You'll fall off his chain.
I put out, a couple of those records, a couple of LPs for them. When I was in Japan, I was able to pick up the one LP that I didn't put out.
That's the Punk and Destroy, like mouse variation of that album, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. And when I was there, I talked to the gentleman who runs that store. Yeah, we kind of briefly, Kazu, we kind of briefly bonded over how we both put out LPs for this band and that we wished more people would buy them because it's so good. But I didn't actually have this, so that was a nice catch from that trip.
Yeah, he still has like a whole warehouse like full of them. It's fucking people, open your mind, check out that band. They're amazing. It's an amazing record. So good. But like you said, it doesn't fall into any kind of neat.
No, it's just a little off the beaten path, I guess.
A little bit, yeah. All right, so before we came on air, we were talking about like record stores in Japan, and I say, well, when most people come to Osaka, they go to like Punk and Destroy, Revenge, Disc Union, and Time Bomb. But I was saying there's like 70 or 80 other stores. Before that, I was going to show something new on La Vida es un Mus, and when I say that, it's like, Jesus, what's it going to be? Because there's like probably like 10 new records out from
every day.
Every so. But you know what? I'm going to save it till next week because I want to give it a couple of more listens. I think it might be one of their best. I'll show you after the show, but I think it might be one of their best one of their best releases of the year. So put that on hold. Let's go back to the record store thing. I went to this record store in Osaka. I haven't been there for a while. It's called Hanky Panky. Anyone been to Hanky Panky Records in Osaka?
It's a good name.
I like the name.
Right? It's like a little like old school, like, you know, it's not a chain. It's just like one guy running it. They have like, it's great because they have like a 2000s punk section and like a 90s like punk section, like a garage rock section, and like of course Jesse Conway's been to Hanky Panky. There you go. Hey Jesse.
Oh, Jesse.
There he is. So yeah, I went to Hanky Panky the other day and was looking through the like 90s punk bin, and I realized I didn't have this record, and I remember it being a bit of a, it might be a classic, I don't know. Grabbed it. It's one of these stores, like, everything's like 700 yen or like 600 yen, you know, it's one of those kind of stores. Been getting drunk to this one all week. The Loudmouths.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Taking it back to 1998. Man, this has held up well. It's like ripping. It's garage punk, right? Garage punk. But bit Ramonesy.
Mike, is it actually on Ripoff, or does it?
It's
just
not. It's on 702 Records, but John Von produced it. But
there had to be a connection. For sure.
I know, man. It's just like, it's so, you put it on, it's like, yeah, I know what this is going to sound like. You know, it does exactly what it says it's going to do. You know, it's like garage punk of the era. It's great. Beautiful. Love it. So I've been like getting drunk to this all week. Been getting lit to the Loudmouths. Look at that. It's like so 90s. It's great.
I love it. Everything. I mean, you know, I've pulled pics on previous shows from Ripoff Record and that style, you know what I mean? And I'm just a huge fan of all those bands, you know, the Infections and the
Ripoffs
stuff.
Ripoffs,
all of them. Yeah. Almost everything on that label. The Kidnappers from I'm probably like flashing forward to shit I'm going to pull 20 shows from now or whatever, but like the Kidnappers,
Zodiac Killers.
Fucking, oh my god, I love them. Yeah,
that's funny. That's so funny that Rachel. That was actually kind of one of the things I was going to say when I bought this classic from the Flaming Dice era, Maximum Rock. I was going to say that like I could just imagine like Tim Yo saying this band has like saved the scene from like heavy metal and stuff like that, you know. But it came out a bit later. This is like 1998. I thought it was like earlier than that. But yeah, they definitely saved the punk scene from heavy metal. I don't know. It's like killer 3-piece band, 2 women, 1 guy, punk as fuck, punk rock. And they do a cover of "You're So Boring" by the Rocks from Australia. Everybody loves the Rocks, right? From Australia, so yeah. I guess people are going to say, "Oh no, their first LP and the early singles are better." I don't know, maybe they are, but this is good enough for me. Love it. What a time to be alive, 90s. That's great. The Flaming Dice era of Maximum Rock and Roll. That's it. Anyone want to say anything about the Loudmouths or the like? I don't know.
I have not heard that record, but cover. I mean, I remember the cover, and when you hold it up, even if I didn't remember it from working at Reptilian in the 90s when it came out, it immediately tells me lookout record. I mean, rip-off record. You know what I mean? It's
Freudian slip.
Right. You can kind of look at it and feel like you've already.
I'm also a fan of a little bit of lookout records, but no, rip-off records. It screams rip-off record, you know, in a way that makes me want to get that record. You know.
Also, doesn't this guy look like I was looking for about 20 minutes on this episode? That's me, right? 20 minutes ago.
Oh my god, yeah, that was exactly what it looked like.
I don't know if anybody can see like this. It's like, oh, yes, good point, Daniel. That's right. I was going to say, actually, I was going to mention that Midnight Snaxxx was a post.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that band name. I remember Midnight Snaxxx.
It's a post Loudmouths band. Yeah,
I remember that. The three S's, Midnight Snaxxx.
Yes, there we go. Everyone's chiming in with the Midnight Snaxxx.
Yep. And right before, I swear to God, you know what? No. Right before, I'll just let. Right before Daniel said that, I was like looking at my next two picks, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna swap one out for the Midnight Snaxxx record, which I love. I was like, just because we were talking about it for a second, and then Daniel came in with it, and then Jesse too. So maybe I'll still swap it out for the Midnight Snaxxx record because
we can do it for the bonus Christmas round that we were talking about.
Bonus Christmas round. Okay. Ooh. All right. Bonus Christmas round.
Hey, who's next? It's Jim. Jim Martin. Jim.
I'm going outside the zone on this one. You might know more about this than me, Mike.
Oh.
It's in the metal zone, but I work in a
metal zone
design firm. I work in a design firm for 27 years, and I work with a lot of people from around the world. And one of these guys I've worked with for many years, he's from Romania, and he knows I like heavy music. You know, he can't put his finger on what I'm doing. He's not a punk, and he's not, you know, he's a guy. He's a very nice guy. And he's never given me anything for Christmas before. And he came by my desk, and he goes, "I got you a Christmas present." This was yesterday.
Wow.
This was yesterday. Right. So I'm like, okay. He gives me this record. I don't know if you recognize what it is. It's from Romania. It's called, I had to write it down, Negura Bunget. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
It's a double LP.
New to me.
It's a double LP, but check it out. Inside, you kind of know what you're in for. But they look like black metal guys, right? Or Transylvanian blood metal, But I played this. I played it a couple times. I was like, all right, this is what I don't know anything about this. I didn't know anything about it till yesterday, and so I listened to it. I listened to it a couple times. Very quality professional recording. It sounds like a score more than a band.
Wow.
Like an orchestra maybe. And I didn't know anything about this band, and neither did he. He goes, I read it was heavy. It's from Romania. Merry Christmas. I'm like, wow. But it wasn't. It didn't. I don't usually go for black metal. I don't usually go for those kind of things. It's there. It's out there. But this I want to say Tangerine Dream, even. Meets
wow.
metal.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, the metal's on the low side of this. Like it's like an accent to like the score. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it feels like a motion picture soundtrack, but it's not. And
wow.
And it feels like it's like an orchestra. I knew nothing about this record. It's totally outside of anything I really know. But
wow.
For somebody who said, I know you like heavy things, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty heavy, but it's not. Like I said, it
not the kind of heavy you're looking for, but a different kind of heavy.
I'm listening to it. It feels like it's a movie. You go through it. I'm like, but if you're into darker sounds, it doesn't get so campy where it's just like black metal riff over an orchestra. It's not like that either. It's not what's that band? Trans-Siberian Express or whatever orchestra. But it's it was very nice. Yeah. It's not like that at all.
No.
But I knew nothing about this. Now I do. But this is what I was listening to this week. So there you go. Like
beautiful,
totally
man.
Outside of my comfort zone. But I recognized it for what it was. and it's called
You have me at Tangerine.
Nugura Bunget. And then you know what's even funnier, and it's not one of my picks. Another guy I work with, an older guy who's like originally from Los Angeles, stopped by my desk and gave me a copy of 45. I was like, what's going on this week? I was like, that's not a bad one either. But, it's kind of more my speed.
Some nice coworkers.
Yeah.
He goes, I saw this in the record shop and it made me think of you. And I was like, well, that's pretty close. But this one was alien to me. But not bad, not what I thought, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And it's not like heavily in like Romanian language. There's some Romanian singing parts, but it's really low key. Nugura Bunget. I don't know if you can see the back here. Oh, the logo there.
There you go.
I'm trying to get it close.
Yep. Ooh. There you go. Cool. I need to get me some Romanian co-workers.
Hey, they're very nice people.
No, I think it's cool you got coworkers who are actually going out of their way to think about you and figure you out and actually throw something.
No, thank you.
Like
because usually it's like a bottle of booze or something. Hey, it's Christmas good. Bang! Here's a bottle of whiskey.
I don't need another fucking mug.
Need some Romanian cinematic heavy metal. Yeah, it's cool.
Think of me. I know you like the heavy music. I'm like, okay. Thank you. But
I'm gonna check that out for sure. Yeah.
But I know
my coworker the other day.
Your metal. Go ahead.
I do.
Yeah, my coworker the other day said to me, like, "Oh, I think you like heavy music," and I was like, "Well," and before I could even respond, they're like, "You probably like Pantera." I was like, nah, bud, no.
Nah, only the early stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, I mean,
zero tracks.
Zero
I was
tracks.
like,
Yeah.
zero tracks. My feelings were hurt a little bit. Like I know, I mean, I don't think anybody at work even knows that I like into punk music. But for him to look at me and go, "You're like a Pantera guy," that was like, oh,
wow. Never mind.
If somebody said, "I'd be like, time to reevaluate everything."
Yeah, I'm like the least hyper masculine person I can probably think of, and he looking at me going like, "You're a Pantera guy."
Yeah, brah.
You got good coworkers, Jim.
Yeah, he has. All right, Tony, what you got?
All right. Does everybody still have some drinks? Because it's about to get a little bit of sauce.
A little bit saucy.
A little bit of barbecue sauce.
Great. Midnight snacks.
Just a little bit of barbecue sauce, surprisingly, for this band.
All right, bring it on. We're ready.
Supersuckers. Hold on a second here.
Oh.
Yeah, hard to see it here. The Supersuckers.
Definitely sauce rock.
Lamano Cornuda, which is it's actually my favorite record by them. And it's I feel like it's kind of like lost in the middle. After this record, it becomes a little more saucy as it moves on into like, they start doing country songs, and it's like even a little more like, the barbecue is high
brisket
as it moves on, and and then there's the Smoke of Hell, which is the one before this one, and all the 7 inches, which are a little more just purely garage rock, like fast, garage rock. But this one, it really has like a, what do we got going on there?
Oh, fire.
Oh, fire. No.
From the barbecue.
Is that you? There you go.
The smoker got left on.
Fire in my mouth.
The Smoke of Hell.
Yeah.
No,
Smoke of Hell,
Tony. The Smoke of Hell is the first album. The sacrilegious sound of the Supersuckers is the second one, right?
No, that's later. That's when they're on a major label, and
I like that one.
Yeah, Rick Sims from the Digits joins them briefly.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
All those like slightly later ones are, they all have. There's some tracks on them, but this one was like a detour into like being very. It's like very fast, and it's very melodic. It's like very catchy. It's like almost like Ramonesy Supersuckers.
Mhm.
It's like catchier than Smoke of Hell, but with like none of the later saucy kind of stuff that starts happening. It's just like kind of like stands on its own as like a very fast and catchy record. When I saw them on this tour, and that was I went to the show not knowing who the opener was, and it turned out it was the Fastbacks were actually performing on this tour. And so that was like life changing. I was kind of just like immediately like the world's biggest Fastbacks fan, like, upon seeing them. And then, but it wasn't even really, this era of them is like so catchy. That again, I just feel like it falls in the cracks. You think about this band as like being one kind of band, and this record just super catchy. They have catchy songs on the later records too, but this one is like a real straightforward, no deviation, no country songs, nothing like that. It's just like pure, very catchy garage rock. Maybe not exactly like rip-off style, but closer to that than like, I guess, what people perceive of Suckers. So, and then this is like a little tiny mini bonus. This song, the single for this record is called "On the Couch," and then a few years later, the Fastbacks covered it on the 7-inch.
Oh wow!
So, do an even poppier version, but it's like so catchy that even the Fastbacks were like, "Damn, that's catchy. We're gonna cover that."
Oh wow!
Kind of giving you an idea how this record is. Definitely like, I mean, it doesn't sound like the fucking Ramones, but it's definitely the Supersuckers doing their most, maybe straightforward Ramonesy garage rock record of any of them. So anyway, I like it a lot, and it's been out of print for a million years. So again, I just feel like it kind of fell beneath the cracks, and it's the one I always go to when I want to hear them put on the cowboy hat and go kick a cat or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Whenever that happens, that's the one that I listen to, and I feel really good about it. So yeah.
I know what I still like that Sacrilegious Sounds album. I don't know, man. It's rock. It's got a big rock sound to it.
I saw him on that tour as well, and I mean, it's got super catchy songs. All those records have catchy songs.
Yeah.
It's the country influence and like the more just different influences came in. So every one of those later records definitely has songs that are just as good, maybe, as anything that's on this one. It's just the records become a little more diverse,
eclectic,
a little more eclectic, and they're kind of falling into their image more with like some of the later ones.
Right.
But this just like pure, just like straightforward, just like no deviations, like killer record. So
now, speaking of falling into your image, like I did play a show with them once, and the two things I remember specifically were a lot of belt buckles, a lot of big
belt buckles. Yeah.
And the guitar player, he kept combing his hair. Like he literally, I'm not trying to be an asshole. He combed his fucking hair on stage.
Wow.
In between every couple of songs, he had like a big comb, and he was like, wow, that is like, they're just like living it. They're
living the dream.
Hard into it.
Yeah. I love them. I mean, I love them across the board. But I'm not shit talking their later records or anything. Just that this one is like my all-time go-to. So
yeah, they were really nice. They were really nice guys, and they were very generous. But I was just like, wow, the belt buckles and the just
cowboy hat, belt buckle,
cowboy hat, and the hair combing. I was like, they're like just
those big rodeo belt buckles.
Yeah, just a big old belt buckles and cowboy boots and just like,
Beautiful. All right, Matto, what's your fourth pick? Yeah.
Well, everybody loves a little Perry Como Christmas. But what I really do love is, and consistently find myself going back to, is this Amber Inn album from 1997 on Ebullition. I feel like Ebullition had a lot of stuff that sounded like this, but I don't know, this record, holds up in a way for me that a lot of those other records don't. Like, I can't tell you the last time I listened to like Yaphet Kotto or something. I mean, it's good. I really loved that stuff, especially at the time, and I still think a lot of it holds up really well. But this record it's called All Roads Lead Home. The previous band that they were in before this was Sinker. And then when Sinker broke up, basically Amber Inn started and then Indian Summer started. So that gives you some context as the time frame and the pedigree of the people. But I think this record is fantastic. It's very dark, and it's sort of brooding and really urgent and pulsating, and it's catchy, but it's not poppy or melodic. I mean, it's sort of melodic, but not in a real catchy, like sort of major scale kind of way. I don't know. I think it just holds up really, really well. I kind of surprised that more people don't seem to be like referencing that record. I think it's really good. I totally worth grabbing out of the used bin, which is probably where most of them are sitting right now. But yeah, if you liked, I remember when I bought this copy, my friend Nate, who had a comic book shop and he would sell records out of there, I'm pretty sure I bought it from him. And he always put kind of slightly sarcastic labels on them. Like, if anything wasn't hardcore, he would just write emo on it. Just if it wasn't a hardcore record, but he wrote Emoville, like hot water music. It doesn't sound anything like hot water music at all. But definitely, I think this record is definitely worth your time. It's definitely worth the $5 that you can get it for at a used bin.
Nice.
Yeah. Is anybody you guys familiar with this at all?
No, first time. I know the other bands that you said after that they, like Sinker and Indian Summer. I know, but not Amber Inn.
From the old store. Yeah, always in the bins at the old record store. Haven't seen it come through used since I've had my store, but I remember it. But I didn't give it a shot. I never listened to it. So.
It's definitely worth your time. I mean, I literally this is '97. I bought this when it came out. I still go back to this. I'm just like, it's so good. I don't know, the vocals are really like, they're kind of, I don't know, they're gruff, but not in that like hot water music gruff kind of way. And it's like, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's got this like depressive noir vibe of an emo record where like there's like, it's like a sad novel or like a bleak novel, but and there's like a detective trying to figure something out. I don't know. I give these backstories to albums that probably have nothing to do with what the album's about, but it's very like I could see it being in some like weird, noir movie, like some art house film or something. Of like, it's I don't know. It's definitely worth your time for sure.
Beautiful.
And I'm sure Ebullition probably has like $7 copies if you want a new one.
I'm getting lots of good band name ideas here. Sad Novel. That's what I'm going to
Sad Novel. Chain Frame
for the world.
Chain Frame. Sad Novel. Split Flexi.
Chain Frame.
God, it's the last round. God, I've been having such a bloody good time. Cheers, everyone.
Double round, Mike. Do two.
No, you know what? I'm going to do one, and then we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go.
Christmas
maybe we'll do that. I'm thinking about mine. I can see it actually in the corner of my eye. It's down there. Polish punk. 80s Polish punk. I don't know if anybody here or anybody watching is a fan of 80s Polish punk. Well, I'm thinking of like Moskva, the Moskva LP, Abaddon, Armia, Deserter. There's a whole bunch of other bands. There's a certain style that old Polish punk has. I found one that I've never heard of before, and it kind of like blew me out of the window. It's like, this is the record I've been playing the most this past week or 2 weeks. I hope someone knows where it is. It doesn't matter if they don't. Let's have a look at it. There you go.
I haven't heard.
Wow, man. You are in for the treat of your life, man. It's like The Corpse, Fight Against Rules, late 80s Poland. Okay, so imagine all the bands that we just talked about but throw in like a crossover guitarist. And so I suppose at the time when this came out, it's one of those records like, oh, it's really metal. But now if you listen to it, it doesn't like sound that metally. But it's got like that accused like guitar tone. But Polish punk, like Polish hardcore punk. That dark, like but melodic Polish punk style. And actually it's funny, this actually was originally a split tape with Moskva. It was a split tape back in the day. And it's come out now. Well, it came out like in 2012, so it's like 10 years old now. This particular version. Oh man, it's like so good.
I'm loving that art. I have never seen
it. I'm still like almost in disbelief of like how good it is. And it was only a tape. It was like a tape like in 1988. Yeah, just imagine all your favorite old Polish punk with like a ripping fucking like Tommy from the Accused like guitarist playing on it. Yeah. And the vocals are like just like Polish punk. They're not like crossover vocals. Amazing. Absolutely incredible record. And I'm gonna read like I guess these notes are on the like here's some like flyers and stuff from like back in the day.
Liking all that artwork. All that artwork is telling me that I'm gonna like it.
And then you got this. It's on Refuse. There's 3 labels put it out. The one I wrote down was Scream Records.
Okay.
But yeah, this is like there's a booklet in there with photos and stuff in there. But there's a little insert. It says hardcore from Poland. Our trash group was created by man sick of mental illness that was brought upon by treatment of schizophrenia. This boy is frontman of the Corpse group now. His dynamic vocal is supportedly guitar's operator who annihilates innocent legions of Polish punks. Handles guitar that splashes brains among sick men of mental illnesses. Kuba, who plays bestial bass, who fucks everything and everyone. And Johnny is the nuclear punk drummer. The expert compares beats at drums with nuclear explosion. Johnny and Kuba form merciless thundering section of death. They destroy and kill everything. Go out and buy it. The Corpse. Polish punk with like crossover Accused style guitar on it. Unbelievable. So good.
Really good.
That's cool. The band name is great.
It's kind of slightly the Discharge font, but it's not really.
It's definitely a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
It's a little bit. But they had an interview with Maximum Rock and Roll.
2 fonts.
2 fonts.
2 fonts.
2 fonts. That's another band name for you.
The 2 fonts is a little unsettling though.
But don't worry about it.
If
Don't
I see
put you off.
multiple fonts on a record cover, I'm out. I'm like, no.
Don't be out. Be in.
Font.
Be in. Be in.
Font.
There's another one as well.
Different font. God damn it.
No, stop. Too many fonts.
They had an interview at Maximum Rock and Roll too. Maybe
I'm not gonna let font snobbery fucking take me away.
Don't be a font snob.
No, it seems like it's gonna be great.
Especially with this record. With this record.
I'm gonna order that for sure. Yeah.
If it's still out there. I mean, it's like 10 years old now, but I guess it's out there in the bins.
Yeah, we can probably find it.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, find it.
You'll find it. Check it out. Oh, it's so good. So good. There we go. That's maybe my last pick of the day. The Corpse with 3 fonts.
3 fonts.
There you go.
It's 3 fonts.
All right, Jim, what's your
3 fonts?
What's the last pick of the day? 3 fonts.
This is all font edition.
This is
font edition.
All fonts.
Same font.
3 fonts. 3 font edition. This is a band from Australia. Called Punter.
I've heard that. Heard of that.
Like I'm trying to get the glare off of there, but this is new. Nice. They had a demo, and they were pretty much this is born of the COVID pandemic. This is rocking, but it's got a lot of statement, and it I would say it's a neoclassic as far as nailing different themes in the world, and I want to say it's like reminiscent of here's the back. You could probably say Punter.
There you go.
But look, it's like Australia's the crying mouth on the globe there. It's pretty badass. But excellent. Yeah, see, Australia has the crying, the sobbing mouth. There's your so that's the free font, right? But this is very excellent, and dare I say, neo-anarcho. Like it's but not aping any of the classic anarcho stuff, but definitely statement. I mean, look, you can even see, I don't know if you can pick this up on your but there's like a QR code kind of in the art, and looking bleed for the guillotine up there. But I guess Australia, unbeknownst to me, had worse COVID quarantines than America.
They did. They did.
And there's a lot of language in here saying how like they're fucking pissed about what happened. And you don't I just never encountered anything recently that really kind of grabbed a hold of like, hey, we woke up from this nightmare and here we are, But this is very, 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 very good. And as far as punk things go, it's a top one for me. And it's, what it's on? It's on Drunken Sailor out of the UK.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? Who's also doing Chain Whip releases.
Yes. Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I had heard of them, and I don't know if you've ever seen, like, there's a lot of stuff coming out of Melbourne these days. Those guys from Fuzz Atrocities. Have you ever seen those clips? Like really good video art, analog art, like and
did they do the Enzyme one?
Yes, exactly. That's Blake, and then who's the other guy? Lance. Lance is the cameraman. I've met these guys in Canada, but just try out. But they're fucking keeping, man, because there's a lot of great stuff coming out of Melbourne. But and those videos are just insane. The Fuzz. If you look up their channel on YouTube, it's Fuzz Atrocities, and I love it. I love those videos, man. It's like really creepy and good. But Punter's in some of those videos, and the clips of them live, like under a bridge. Yes, see, Dan knows. Fucking,
Dan knows.
Like right now for me, like visually, that stuff is like the best stuff going on right now. So, so I highly recommend that. Check out Punter. A Drunken Sailor. It's like, wow, they're on Drunken
Sailor's put out a lot of good records.
Yeah,
a lot.
This is fucking excellent, and it kind of slid under. This is a this year record, came out over the summer.
Nice,
but this is one to grab, like for sure. I highly recommend this record. That's why it's my last pick.
Great.
And to read the liner notes of this, it's like spot fucking on. It really is. We all lived it, and it's there. It's all there. Wow, it's one of the first records I've seen that really nails it about what the fuck just happened. So that's my last pick.
I've been hearing some good
and I'm
things.
sticking by.
That's a great pick. I've been hearing some I've been hearing some good things about. I think they Punter. I think we had some Punter talk last week or the week before. That apparently they're really good live. I hear. Didn't they just come to the States?
Well, the stuff on Fuzz Atrocities is those clips from Fuzz Atrocity are live. So
there you go. Right, gotcha.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is someone's cat drumming?
No. My cats are dead.
It might be my cat.
Or someone's drumming on a desk somewhere in hell. All right.
I have that record.
Oh, where are we? Tony, last pick. Tony's last pick.
All right, last pick. Since we're on the subject, I hate the font and I hate the artwork, but I love the music. Some mid to late 90s Massachusetts. I hesitate to say pop punk. This is Doc Hopper.
Doc Hopper.
Doc Hopper, and the record is called Ask Your Mom. And I'm not loving really the artwork I'm seeing here, but just I guess like I say pop punk, but really they do not sound like it. It's not like they don't sound like All or the Descendants. They don't sound like Sam I Am. They don't sound like Fat Records. It's just like super energetic, fast, with almost like a hard rock influence, maybe as well. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I really love this record. It's very catchy. It's very fast. It sounds like, and this might actually be the fact, I've never actually asked them about it, but like kind of like ex straight edge kids getting a Doughboys record and then like melding hardcore, you know what I mean? And but then also kind of having this Doughboys. I mean, it's clear the people in this band, like they are fans of All and Doughboys and Sam I Am, but like they were coming maybe from like more of a hardcore world, so they just kind of smashed those two things together. And yeah, it's just like, grew their hair out and just started, again, yeah, pop punk, but with a huge influence of I think, yeah, like probably some straight edge hardcore kind of mixed in. Lots of high jumping in the lyric sheet here. I don't know if I can get there. So, the dreads, probably a Doughboys influence there, I assume.
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't heard your Doughboys reference is killing me. I saw them a couple of times.
Yeah, I saw that. I was a huge. I mean, I also am a current straight edge kid that still loves the Doughboys. Yeah, I was a huge Doughboys fan. I love them. But that's the thing is like the Doc Hopper record doesn't sound like the Doughboys. It doesn't sound like All. It doesn't sound like those influences. It sounds like just really raging, scrappy pop punk, but with like no overly harmonizing, like super. It's like the production and playing. It's like they're talented, but instead of trying to clean it up, they just took a big page from like the scrappy hardcore world and just kind of applied it to like more melodic music. But like they did a split with Weston, but they don't sound like Weston either.
Check this out. Check out what Brian says. Doc Hopper and Drop Dead both got ignored by a bunch of emo bands on tour in 1993 after a show. Nice guys. There you go.
I know that like that's the thing is like, so Doc Hopper played in my house at my parents' house. They played in our basement with Dead Guy. So it's interesting that they did a tour with Drop Dead as well. That tracks since they did a tour with Dead Guy also and played in my basement on that tour. So and actually oddly Drop Dead, I don't know if Brian remembers, but Drop Dead stayed in that same basement a couple of years later. Drop Dead crashed at my parents' house as well. In the same basement that Doc Hopper played, around maybe a couple of years afterwards or whatever. But
Boston band, there you go. Didn't know that.
Yeah, for sure. I just think it's it's hard because it's like you just want to be like, oh yeah, it's pop punk or whatever, but it's like they don't really sound like any of their contemporaries.
No, they don't.
Kind of pop punk bands or whatever. It's like. Yeah, again, you can say, oh, yeah, they like Doughboys, but, like, they don't even really sound like that at all. It's, like, faster and scrappier and, kind of – it's a fun record. Definitely a hard rock influence on this record.
I see their albums, their records all the time in the used bins, man. It's like, it's such a minefield, that genre,
Yeah.
You don't
This is
know
the rare for the mid-90s. a rare standout of yeah. And yeah, I mean they would play. I would see them with Weston, but it's like they still even Weston was like more produced, more.
Yeah, Weston was definitely poppier.
Yeah. Yep. And Doc Hopper, this record especially is like not slick at all in the best possible way. It's way more just like loose and just going for it, even though they're good players. It's not loose in a untalented way. It's just like they just wanted to like just go for it, and it just kind of works out. So, but yeah, that's my last one. So Doc Hopper.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Yeah, that record cover doesn't do the record justice.
No, that artwork is right.
Yeah, it's not good. It's they're being from. I'm originally from Albany, and so that's where I, grew up and lived until 2008, and so I definitely encountered Doc Hopper more than once or twice, both in the Albany area and in Boston. But when they would play in the Albany area, they always were on these terrible bills with like spiky mohawk bands or like just some like really poppy garbage band, and you're like. I gotta have to sit through some shit to see those guys, but it was always worth it. But I remember trying to describe Doc Hopper to someone when I was, really much younger. Just be like, I don't know, it's like a pop punk, like Husker Du or something. It's just it had like that kind of that sort of aggression of like a Midwest kind of thing a little bit. That's how I heard it when I was like younger. That's how I kind of picked up on it. But I always liked that band. I think they have a couple 7-inches. I know I have at least one because I can remember what it looked like.
Yeah, there's a few.
Good band.
All right, beautiful. Matto, what's your last pick?
Well, it was going to be that Superchunk box set. So I'm literally going to go with the record. I'm going to go with this record that I listened to the other day. I don't know if you can see this.
Whoa.
This is the Gertie Farish Pissed Officer split 10-inch.
Wow.
This is a weird record. I'm going to show you the cover first. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's perforated edges, perforated lines. It's very homemade. It's screen printed. There's fucking ink all over it. I've had this forever. I mean, this came out probably sometime in the 90s. This is like the cover is a perforated thing that you can take apart and turn into a paper rocket ship. That gives you kind of gives you some idea of what this. Yeah, like it like you can take it apart and it turns into a paper rocket ship, and then it even has the instructions on it. But it's a split 10-inch. The Gertie Farish is like a weird, dorky Casio keyboard band. I like them, but like I don't know that stuff really holds up. But what I really liked about this record was the Pissed Officers. It's just like the snarky, fast, pissed off, tinny, blown out like punk in a like Charles Bronson meets the Crucifix played on like bad PV amps.
Wow.
And that sounds great.
Speaker,
Wow.
The Pissed Officer side is great, and the songs are super catchy. But the record, it has all this crazy fucking packaging. It's got the Gertie Farish poster. It's got this Pissed Officer sticker. Another Gertie Farish sticker. There's this weird fucking sticker. Weird postcard. Dr. Scholl's postcard. It's got it's got this shitty fucking patch that doesn't have a band name on it. It's just like some British soldier, like it's just weird. It's just totally weird record, and I've literally never seen it before, and I've never heard anyone talk about it. But it has this huge map,
Jesus,
with how to get to their house.
It's
a huge map of how to get to Gertie Farish and Pissed Officer's house. So,
it's kind of this is like my kind of trash. Like
I
almost don't even care what they sound like.
You're finding the art in it.
Yeah, your description
the art
sounds
is great,
incredible, but
the Pissed Officer side is fantastic. I mean, I like the Gertie Farish side. I don't know that, like I said, it holds up nearly as well for me as the.
How old is that? How old is it? You know, when did it come out?
I mean, I'd have to look. I mean, it's definitely like mid '90s, late '90s.
Wow.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's late '90s. It definitely had to be the '90s. But yeah, they did like. I mean, it's so I don't even know where they got this rocket ship thing from. That it's like 10-inch sized, but it's all smushed, and then it's like look at there's like ink on the fucking inside. It's like a sloppy mess. It's so good.
So crude, it's brilliant. You know?
Yeah, and it looks like this part. I mean, it's silkscreen, but it kind of looks like they wrote it with a ballpoint pen. The instructions on how to take the cover apart and make it into a rocket ship. But I'm glad I fought the impulse to.
You got to make the rocket ship. It's like the ELO rocket ship from Out of the Blue. You got to make the rocket ship.
Yeah, no,
I'd say that record is well.
Yeah,
this definitely fits the punk as fuck aesthetic. Yeah, so it says by assembling this rocket, assembling this rocket so that the band can escape from Earth. It's the punk rocket. Instructions on back.
Yeah.
And the name of the split is Gertie Farish and the Pissed Officers Save the Ants. So
it gets better and better.
Yeah,
I gotta check this out.
Pissed Officers, like if you can find this on
that's a sad novel if I ever heard one.
Yeah, if you can find this on Discogs. I mean, that's a great band name. That's a fucking great band name.
Yeah. Are they on anything else? Because I feel like I've heard the name, but are they on like a comp or anything?
I think they're on a comp, and I want to say there might be a Pissed Officers a 7-inch.
Is it?
But,
is it chance that it's on like the FYP label, or was it like FY? Maybe I'm just like maybe just the vibe is giving me like a.
It's got a similar vibe. But this is a little bit more like really dorky. Like maybe they were into FYP stuff or like they were kind of in that world, but these were very much an insular group of like serious dorks that just hung out in their basement, jumped on a trampoline all day, and just bounced the worst ideas off each other and then saw them come to reality. And, you know what I mean? A way that's very genuine, like very genuine and real.
Yeah.
I did get to see them once. And I want to say, if this helps give it context, I want to say Fat Day was on the show.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is really funny, these like weird things. As soon as you said jumping on their trampoline, I immediately thought about Fat Day because I saw Fat Day in the 90s on like some random tour. And were they not jumping on a trampoline?
That's what I was going to say.
Like a vibrant. I mean, this is like punishing my brain. This is like 1994 or 5, and I was on tour with I was on tour with a band called Webster that were a pop punk band from Baltimore that later became the Fuses. And like one of the first shows of that tour was going straight down to Florida, and they played with Fat Day. And they were jumping on a trampoline, if I remember. With noise.
Yep, absolutely. Like, every time I saw Fat Day, there was some portion of the show that involved a trampoline.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad I wasn't just like dreaming that. You know.
No, but I feel like those bands.
That was a thing I actually
shared the same sentiment. You know what I mean? Like they sort of all shared the same mentality of just being authentically goofy and dorky and. But the Pissed Officer stuff, it's super punk. It's super awesome. Blown out and real snarky but poppy at the same time. It's definitely that's worth checking out, I think.
Oh yeah. Shit.
There you go. Brian said he saw Fat Day play a show in the dark once. The lights only came on between songs.
Oh my god! I once saw a band. I once saw a band at a hall show just set up in the closet. They played in the closet, all of them. They just shoved everybody on top of each other in a closet. There was like a couple hundred people at the show, and then everybody just tried to like get into the closet while the band was playing in the closet.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty great.
Fuck, man, Fat Day, Jesus! I had not thought of that in quite some time.
I read the trampoline story. It might have been in Maximum Rock and Roll or another fans, you know.
Really?
I remember reading about.
Where were they from? The show that I saw them was in Florida, but maybe I always thought that's where they were from. But is that not
no? They're from. I want to say they're from Boston.
Yeah, someone just said. Brian
Boston,
said that was
like some of the Rhode
Boston.
Island people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boston,
Yeah.
They definitely played.
I still have the flyer somewhere.
They definitely played Albany a good deal, and I was in sort of a weird band at the time, so like we always got put on those shows with Fat Day, which was always fun because we would build like big cardboard robots and bring them out on stage. So that was like we fit right in with those guys. But when I saw Pissed Officers,
like this is record sleeve.
Yeah, I was like, this is the peak of like this kind of stuff. The Pissed Officers. I was like, this is where it's at.
Amazing.
Wow. Amazing. You know, I was gonna do like the bonus Christmas round, but I don't think we can top that.
Well, I mean,
that was a great
suggestion.
Do you want to do a bonus round? Does anyone have a record nearby?
Yeah, I do.
I'll do it. We can do it quick. Yeah.
Let's do a quick one.
Do a quick one. Yeah.
I'm gonna just show the one that I said I was going to show.
Lightning round. Yeah.
All right. Let's have a drink.
Sorry.
I'm ready.
Me too.
I've had one ready to go since we started.
There you go. All right.
All those fake Christmas albums, the psych outs. But I will admit, I've listened to all those records already.
Wow, man, you got the best Christmas album.
Look at Tony.
You gotta yoke out of Burl Lives.
All right.
Ooh, yeah, I think I have that one.
There you go. All right, let's do a quick bonus round, like 1 minute on each. This is actually a big record that I was going to talk about next week, but I'm having a good time. Let's show everyone. Go out and buy it for your colleague at work. La Vida es un mus. Stingray.
Yeah.
Oh, I have that. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. It's like fucking. You know, I'm not prepared to talk about this record, but kind of sounds like Rat Cage a bit, but slower.
It's
super
very good,
blown out. It's real good. UK band. Chris Corey did the mastering. I don't know. It's fucking hardcore punk. It's fucking charging. There's a lot of like more mid-paced songs on side 2, which kind of reminds me of like a little bit like Perdition era Disorder. A little bit. I don't know. It's La Vida es un mus.
London.
Yeah, I mean, it's like La Vida es un mus, end of the year release, Stingray, buy it. There you go. That's my bonus Christmas.
I have the 45, but not the LP. I like the 45.
It's really good.
It might be their. Paco told me he's put out 34 records this year.
Damn.
34.
Yeah, 34. I think this is one of the best ones, honestly. So.
He's given Deranged a run for the
Deranged
a run
plus 8 on Sealed Records.
Right.
So he's a busy guy. He's still a one-man band, one-man operation. I was talking to him yesterday. But yeah, there you go.
Incredible record.
This is going to be my opening pick for next week. But here we go. Bonus pick: Christmas Stingray, Fortress Britain. Check it out. All right, Jim. Any bonuses?
Yep. Staying in a double whammy lightning bonus. I'm staying in the theme of chain frames.
Oh. Choke Combat.
Here's the other one.
That artwork tells us everything we need to know about it.
Choke Combat. Yeah, they're from Germany. Pretty good Oi record. And then
I was gonna say that's got to be an
Cut
Oi record.
Piece, Portland, Oregon. This is Cut Piece from Portland, Oregon. But they got the chain frame too.
Chain frame, man. Chain frame.
Oh my god, with the chain frames, it's so fucking funny.
It's all about chain frame.
Chain frame.
One day when I start chain frame, you guys can hold up the chain frame record. Know that it came from here.
Nice.
It's all from this year too. It's uncanny.
Wow. So much good music. People who say there's no good music anymore, open your ears and open your eyes. It's almost like too much.
It's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
And babies won't be born.
Jason likes cut piece. There you go. All right, Tony. Midnight Snaxxx
very
or
very good.
Midnight Snaxxx. But here's the thing: this Midnight Snaxxx record is their best record, and it had awful distribution in the United States. This is and the artwork. I couldn't not pick it because the hot dog with the ice cream on it. Incredible.
Hot dog Sunday.
The best. Yeah,
it's a hot dog
record
split.
they put out. The hot dog Sunday is insane, and there's a gatefold that's pretty awesome too, of them all just hanging out.
Wow.
There a little bit, hanging out in the car as the gatefold is also incredible. Every song is a total banger. It's super catchy, pure rip-off records style. But they did a record or two after this that is okay, but I didn't like it as much. This one I liked, but Red Lounge put this out, and they just have poor distribution. Red Lounge put out some Hard-Ons records as well around this time frame, and they were like really difficult to get in the United States. So so this one was tough to get, but anyway, it's the best one. And I don't even think it's on Spotify, which sucks. Maybe it's on YouTube. I'm not really sure. It's not even like available. I don't even think it's around digitally, really. But anyway. But yeah, Midnight Snaxxx.
Midnight Snaxxx. That wouldn't be my first choice of a midnight snack, I have to say. A hot dog with ice cream on it.
I don't know. That sounds pretty good.
Hot dog Sunday.
Matto, got a Christmas bonus?
Well, I'm going to keep it I'm going to be very specific. It's a seasonal record. This is a seasonal suggestion. It is hostile, snarky, bleak, bitter, impoverished, Dickensian.
Enough about yourself.
It is Christmas 1979, Wild Billy Childish and the
Billy Childish.
Oh, wow.
This is one of my favorite go-to holiday records. The songs on this are bleak at best, some really harsh lyrics about a really depressive childhood with a lot of just shitty stuff happening. So this makes for a great Christmas. There's no chain frame, but we've got some holly. We've got some holly frame, maybe a little bit of holly frame.
Holly.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for a good punk record that's Christmassy, this is it.
Beautiful. Right, that's amazing. I've never heard of that before.
Merry fucking Christmas,
Rachel. Rachel.
What a good time we're having. I almost want to do like a Boxing Day pick.
Yeah, but now we get to do after hours.
We should wrap it up, right? That was a great episode. Let me just tell you everyone about next week. Pam's coming on again. Pam, Pittsburgh special next week. Pam, Kevin Parent, talking about ex-parents. We've got Kevin Parent. I
just saw him the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice, man. He's been in a ton of bands.
Yeah, I saw him in Philly and in Pittsburgh. Sweet guy.
He's been in a ton of bands, right? Like
yes.
Eel, he's in
Zeitgeist, Icon Gallery.
Yeah.
Eel. Wow.
He's been in a bunch of bands. And then Dusty Hannah's coming back on.
Oh,
Skullfest CEO.
Yep.
Dusty Hannah. That's Friday, December 29th.
I'm gonna try to get chain frame booked. Skullfest 2025.
Exactly.
Only Penny Houser's involved.
Who out there is trying to start?
That sounds like a Hauser project. A Hauser project.
That's a Penny Hauser project.
Yeah. 10 p.m. EST. Thanks for tuning in. We've had a great time. Until next time, see you next week, everyone. See you next week. We'll do it all again next week. I've kind of played my main card, my opening card already, but I'm sure I'll find something else to show. Until next time, stay healthy. There's something. I've got a couple of things behind. Yeah. Until next time, stay healthy and stay